Online banking day was a bigger headline here in Jordan's house than Christopher Columbus Day. Because Jordan's like, aren't the kids off from school? I'm like, well, what's tomorrow? I had no idea. She's like, some sort of banking day. It's Columbus Day. How did we just all of a sudden just fuck over Columbus like he never mattered at all?
Columbus.
I mean, I get it. He wasn't the greatest guy, but guess what? None of you morons would be here if it wasn't for him.
Well, the whole thought was that like he didn't discover anything and he raped and pillaged.
He did all those things, but you know what else he did? He put his balls on the line, traveled across the world just so you idiots could live here. So I get all that, but to completely dismiss a holiday that we acknowledged our whole life is a little odd or interesting at the least.
You know what? It's I call it the Hugh Hefner. If you die before people realize you're a piece of shit, you won.
So he's all good. Yeah.
I mean, Columbus died thinking he was the guy that fucking discovered America. He called them Indians. Meanwhile, they're like, we're not Indians. I don't care. You're fucking Indians to me. Columbus won the same way Hugh Hefner died, and then Me Too started. So if you die before you're exposed,
it wasn't even
you win.
But they're not even like Native Americans because isn't America based on isn't America based on Americano Vespucci? It's like, what are they? They're just natives.
They were indigenous people. They were all different tribes.
Give it back. I don't want it. Give it back.
Native Indians and Mexicans and whoever else was living here, just different tribes of people. But it's funny how online banking day, some shit I never heard of ever in my life until last night, is more of a deal than Columbus Day, even if you decide to not acknowledge it. I was like, what is tomorrow? Oh, online banking day, not the holiday formerly known as Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day. Online banking day? What the fuck is that?
Columbus would be so disappointed that he sailed all that way and stole all this land just so I could live in a 1,200 square foot apartment. He'd be so disappointed.
When you really put it into perspective, was he a piece of shit? Probably the biggest piece of shit, right? Did he steal land that already belonged to other people? Yes. Changed the way the world worked, and are we here as a result? Yes. And you know what? If you look it up, Spot, it's very interesting. Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's asked, like, what's the most significant thing to ever happen in our time? And he says that because it changed the entire way we live.
Yeah. As your mom pointed out on the feedback, who didn't rape and pillage?
I mean, that doesn't make it okay.
I know, but I mean, that was a different world. We weren't civilized the way we are now.
I'm just shocked that yesterday, I think Jordan, they were asking me, isn't Melody off from school? I'm like, for what? I don't know, online banking day or something. Like, oh, no, I don't even know what that is. And then I realize now it's Indigenous Peoples Day, Christopher Columbus Day.
I don't think many people have off. Kids are all in school, right?
Yeah, because no one acknowledges the fact that this guy changed our life.
The post office is closed, but
fuck the Italians.
Depending on what
Columbus's voyage, they went on some stretch.
I can't pause it. Sorry.
There's no way to. That's wild that you just have to hit a clip and it's automatically plays every time.
Normally, I can't. Mm-hmm. Normally, there's.
I hear you, buddy.
When I can mute that. He's on the same thing as videos.
Okay, let's go. Let's hear. Let's see Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Of time, and they didn't have food, and they had Indians that they brought on board as well as some of their own crew, and people were dying. And so at sea, what do you do with a dead body? You throw it overboard, of course. Okay, so a person who's keeping notes said all the Indians they threw overboard floated face down.
What is this?
And all the Christians floated face up.
Oh, this is the right clip.
No, it's not.
Okay. No, it's not the right clip. But he's asked in a clip, like, what's the most significant thing or life-changing thing to have happened to humans or, to mankind? And he explains why that is the answer. So if you want to say he's the worst guy ever, and that's fine. I couldn't care less, to be honest. I'm not here to die on this hill. Fuck Christopher Columbus. I don't really care. It's just also odd to not acknowledge the significance of what he did. No one knew that there was other people living, or he thought, but no one knew that there was other lands here and there were people here, and he fucking had the balls to say we're going.
I think he gets a mulligan.
I thought his whole thing was not that there were new lands, but that the earth wasn't flat, and that to sail from England to India.
Yeah, he was trying to find India. We all know that story.
They knew where England was. They knew where India was. And he assumed that rather than go travel all the way from England to India, the earth was round and you could go from England. He didn't know that America was in between. You could go from England to India the other way via the ocean. And it just so happened that he hit a landmass in between and he was like, this is India.
Dude, it doesn't even matter. All it matters is that 500 years ago, if you want to put in perspective, 500 years ago, we didn't know what the earth looked like.
So
Like we didn't know where things were. That's to show that's that's roughly, as you would say, 6 people. 6 people ago, we didn't know that there were other lands. Like, what?
He's kind of an idiot. So are we. But he's kind of an idiot.
Who?
Columbus. He was just daring, but he didn't like really have all
he
the
was
facts.
brave.
He was a daring
brave.
genius that just happened to be a piece of shit.
He didn't have all the facts.
I look, aside from all that, I'm just amazed how what's the opposite of acknowledge, Spot? We ignore. We just completely ignore something that we celebrated for all those years. Like all of a sudden we ignore, and online banking is a bigger deal than Christopher Columbus Day, regardless of his priorities and his kindness. And I don't know.
I think the acknowledgement of online banking is that depending on the bank today, post offices are closed, federal buildings, a lot of them are shut down, but it's not 100%. Your bank may be open. It's like discretion. So the reality is online banking is never closed. So you could bank on your phone at any time.
Yeah, have fun with that.
Yeah.
So anyway, hope you had a nice weekend. Hopefully you're enjoying maybe a day off. I don't know. I have no idea. And it's Canadian Thanksgiving, if I'm not mistaken. So happy Canadian Thanksgiving to you guys.
You know what's fascinating? Mark S. alludes to this. So 500 years ago, people thought the earth was flat.
Yeah.
And we came all this way. People made all these advancements, and we're back to people thinking that the earth is flat again. How sad is that?
Yeah.
You know what? Some flat earthers should sail and from one end of the country to the other and see what happens.
Dude, why are people playing dumb, though? I'm reading feedback. Ignore. Dude has a shitload of cities in the U.S. named after him. I mean, do we acknowledge the holiday the way we used to? Do we still have the parades the way we used to? Do we still teach kids in the school books about Christopher Columbus and what he did the way we used to? No.
They've pulled down a lot of his statues.
Yeah, give me a break. Like, how can you play so dumb and naive to the fact? And maybe he shouldn't be honored, but that's what's also crazy about it. Like, man, we really turned the page and flipped the script real fast on that dude.
I mean, I still often think in my head, in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
All right, well, hey, either way, enjoy the day. And, hey, I'm grateful I'm here. I don't know what led me to be here and all the reasons as to why, but I'm happy to be here.
Hey, if Columbus had something to do with that, I mean, wouldn't you think that you would categorize Columbus as a genius? Someone doubted that on our feedback. Like,
for all I know, he may have killed people that I was related to years and hundreds of years ago.
And who's to say, any, like you said, any of us, we wouldn't be alive. We wouldn't even be humans if it weren't for Columbus. Everything had to happen just the way it was for us to be here. So you can't hate the past.
Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, Neil deGrasse Tyson, I can't put it in his words because it's not my thought, but he says it's the most significant thing to happen to mankind.
It's like a long clip.
Yeah, to man, it's not. It's somewhere, but I don't expect you to find it, Spot. I'm giving you the gist of it. You know, it's the most significant thing to happen to us as people. That's his answer. It's not like the discovery of some sort of mineral, some sort of cure. It's not the fact we went to the moon. He says that. And we're like, yeah, fuck that dude. Online banking. Anyway.
Well, hey,
it's hilarious.
Can I give you 2 more important things that happened on this day since I'm on this day, boy?
Sure.
In 1926, a cartoon debuted. And I'll give you a hint, and I know you'll get it from the hint.
Betty Boop.
Hold on, I'm sorry, bro. I can't move on with the craziness I'm reading right now. Becker's saying he never stepped foot in America. Okay. And Rashawn is saying P. Diddy was also awesome at one point.
I mean, we
can't use P. Diddy and Christopher Columbus in the same sentence. It's not even remotely significant.
P. Diddy trailblazed in the music industry.
I mean, Bad Boys for Life was a fucking joint.
I mean,
you can't.
P. Diddy brought
Can't put
music.
them in the same sentence, bro. I'm
P.
sorry.
Diddy pioneered and pushed through what people thought music
I can't
was.
believe what I'm
And he's
reading.
like, no, music should be like this.
I think
Come on, bro.
we could all agree.
You guys got to be real about it. And guess what? Columbus killed nobody you knew. So shut up.
I think we could all agree. I Need a Girl Part 2 was a fucking banger.
Yeah, he landed in the what quote unquote the West Indies because he thought it was India, but the West part.
Yeah.
And
by the way, as much as I disagree,
like Haiti,
you
the
agree-
Caribbean.
You realize what my mom said was like a little ridiculous about everybody who was raping and pillaging back then, but she's absolutely right. You watch any movie, sir, all those tribes were raping and pillaging each other.
Was that a
Forget about when white man came, they were all like, "Oh fuck, I think we should unify now."
Wait till I tell you about Vikings.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was just also the world we lived in. So you do have to keep that in mind. You know, they were fighting each other. And then the white man came and like, oh, fuck. Now I think we should all probably fight them. They were fighting and pillaging each other. Every tribe, everybody on this earth. So it's also really hypocritical. I'm not here to defend the guy. He probably was a piece of shit and probably want to kill me if he met me. I'm just saying I find it amazing how all of us are so righteous and we celebrate online banking today.
Maybe we could dial down the rape a bit, but I'm all for the pillaging.
But Spot, you know, it's
all
all
with a good pillage.
Not that it was right, but people were doing that to their own kind back then.
I mean, we do realize. You do realize. Let me bring back one of my favorites.
Wow,
Let me bring back a favorite, Covino. You do realize.
Yeah, we were savages. I agree with Kyle. So now we're judging savage people through today's lens.
Now,
how does that make sense?
I mean, now people put their fucking pronouns on their email. We've come a long way. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like even within the last couple hundred years,